Imagine, if you will, a bitterly cold winter's night. The snow is falling softly, and the world is silent, save for the distant jingling of sleigh bells. Suddenly, a figure in red appears, driving a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer. This, dear listeners, is none other than Santa Claus, the jolly old man who brings joy and presents to children all around the world on Christmas Eve. The story of Santa Claus begins centuries ago with a man named Saint Nicholas. Born in the 4th century in the town of Patara, in what is now Turkey, Saint Nicholas was known for his kindness and generosity. He often gave away his wealth to those in need, and this is where the tradition of gift-giving began. As the centuries passed, the legend of Saint Nicholas grew and evolved. In the early 11th century, the tradition of celebrating his feast day began. Children would leave their shoes out the night before, and in the morning, they would find gifts and treats left by Saint Nicholas. Fast forward to the 16th century in the Netherlands. Here, Saint Nicholas was known as Santa Claus, a kindly bishop who arrived on a ship from Spain to distribute presents to children. It was this Dutch tradition that would eventually cross the Atlantic with Dutch settlers and give birth to the American version of Santa Claus. In the early 19th century, the image of Santa Claus as we know it today began to take shape. In 1822, Clement Clarke Moore wrote a poem titled, "A Visit from Saint Nicholas," better known as The Night Before Christmas. This poem introduced the world to Santa Claus, a jolly old elf who flew from house to house on a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer. This image of Santa Claus was solidified in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, thanks to artists like Thomas Nast and Haddon Sundblom. These artists depicted Santa as a plump, jolly man in a red suit, complete with a white beard and a sack full of toys. This is the image of Santa Claus that has been immortalized in popular culture and is beloved by children all over the world. So to recap, the story of Santa Claus begins with the generosity of Saint Nicholas in the 4th century. This spirit of giving was carried on through the centuries, evolving into the tradition of Sinterklaas in the Netherlands, and eventually crossing the Atlantic to become the Santa Claus we know today. The image of Santa Claus as a jolly old man in a red suit, flying around the world on a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer, was popularized in the 19th and 20th centuries. This image, along with the tradition of gift-giving, continues to bring joy to children all around the world every Christmas Eve. And so, as the snow continues to fall on this cold winter's night, remember the story of Santa Claus. Remember the kindness and generosity of Saint Nicholas, the joy and excitement of Sinterklaas, and the magic and wonder of Santa Claus. And most importantly, remember the spirit of giving that lies at the heart of it all, because at the end of the day, that's what Santa Claus is really all about.